America teaches us how to think. And the reason why I know is because they always throw around this word, especially in the black community: assimilation. You see? While you all assimilated, I didn't. In other words, what I'm saying, while you all went to their institutions, I didn't. I self-educated. Straight up. While you all followed the food pyramid, real talk, I didn't. Because I know that everybody's body is different. And that we all don't come from the same parts of the planet. And that, like, take for example, if you're a polar bear, you know, polar bears supposed to eat what polar bears supposed to eat. Same thing with black people. Black people supposed to eat what black people supposed to eat, and non-black supposed to eat what non-black supposed to eat. And we know that this is evident because most black people are lactose intolerant. So there's certain foods that we can't even eat that other races can, such as Caucasians. They don't have a problem with digesting and processing cheese, dairy products such as cheese, milk, etc. Now I'm talking about overall. I'm not talking about like individually, but overall, their race doesn't have a problem with that. But besides that, we bought our food over here. We did. We bought our food over here in our cornrows. We bought the watermelon seed over here. We bought rice over here. This is a fact. So I know some of you non-blacks are gonna try to fact check me. Before I get on this video, I fact check myself. Oh, I'm real about mine. We bought the watermelon over here. Seed, that is. Rice that's over here. We bought the cantaloupe seed over here. We bought yams over here. We brought this over to America, right? But see, the dietary habits that we had, that I still practice. You see, the elders, they love me. When they see me, they love me. You want to know why? Because I didn't give up on my culture. I know exactly where I come from, and I'm practicing that dietary habit, the dietary habits that my ancestors left for me. But yeah, man, I need you all to give me a diet that is not conducive to my body, such as soul food, chitlins, potato salad. You all know exactly what you were doing on the plantation. Plantation was an experiment. Plantation was a what? Science lab. So that was the first thing that you took from us. I'm going somewhere with this. You stripped us of our language. We had our own language where we can communicate with one another. You took that from us. We had our own clothing, right? You took that from us. You told us we couldn't. This is my word. It was illegal. This is the reason. Seriously, black women, I'm just being real with you. This is a real reason why the conscious community doesn't want you to wear bonnets. You want to know why? Because during slavery, white women were jealous of your hair, and it was mandatory for you to wear something over your head, such as a bonnet. If you don't believe me, do the research. Do the research. So now that you're free, why are you still wearing a bonnet? My fault, man. I got to do it, though. Side note, black women are the least favorable. Yeah, okay. So let me ask you a question. During like late at night, like late night hours in slave quarters, I'm just trying to understand who was creeping. Who was the first man to creep late at night? You understand? White women had, at that time, now I'm just being real with you. At that time, white women had every right, and they still do. They still are jealous. They have every right to be jealous because slave master would creep into slave quarters and have sexual intercourse with the slaves. Yes, back then, you were their property and you did whatever they told you to do. And let me throw in a bonus. Who was the first deadbeat dad? I'm asking you all. Oh, I'm going to give it away. So, slave master go into slave quarters, have sex with black women, and then the black woman has a mulatto child, and then that child, it becomes a bastard child. So I'm trying to understand, like, hurry up with the answer. You non-blacks. Because you tend to put that title on us men. Black men, that is. I'm going somewhere with this. Yo, this video, I'm going everywhere with it. You're just going to have to follow me. But you put that label on black men, right? And we know this, we know it to be a fact. Statistically, black men take care of their children way more better than white men do. Why? Because we take the time out to do it. While you all stick children in daycare. You see how much you care about your children? Let me tell you how much you care about your elders too. You throw them in an old folks home once they get old. Let me tell you what you do about your veterans. You let them sleep under bridges. I know I'm going left field with this. I'm gonna bring it back. Let's bring it back. But yeah, man, the thing about the women, you know what I'm saying, it's the truth. It's a fact. You know what I'm saying? White women have always been jealous of black women. Real talk, and they've always tried to duplicate, emulate, imitate, however you want to say it, the black woman's beauty. And that's a fact. It was evident back then when they were wearing those dresses and they had that little humpback thing on the back. You know what I'm saying? Back then, I forgot. I don't know, it was like 1600s or something like that. Back in the days, they just had the little small umbrellas, and the white woman wear those dresses, and it was a little thing connected to it. That would be the ass. Real talk. And to be real with you, booty means treasure. So they always been fascinated with the black woman's ass. We could talk about Sarah Bartman. Let's get back on track though. But yeah, you stripped us of our culture. You took our garments away. You took our hairstyles away. You told us we couldn't braid our hair. We couldn't wear our hair in different hairstyles and dreadlocks and stuff like that. And you still do it till this day. You're a little lenient now. But a couple years ago, they weren't hiring people with dreadlocks. I know. I was living in the South. It was so bad. As far as dealing with our hairstyles, right? Like, it became so bad in the past. As far as dealing with our hairstyles and companies and corporations not hiring black folks based on their hairstyle and overall hair. Us wearing our natural hair. Do you get that? It got to the point where they had to create a law called a Crown Act to protect black folks as well as others from being discriminated based on their hairstyles. Nowadays, you can have purple, green, orange, and whatever type color dreads. It don't matter nowadays. It doesn't. But back then it did. You know what I'm saying? So you took everything from us. And then you gave us the life that you wanted to live, which was or is an artificial life. And in this artificial life, the beings that we are, you stripped us of it, which is being independent. You forced us to become dependent on you. You understand that? Even though it's crazy. On a plantation, you were really dependent on us. Watch this. Watch me work. So we got EBT, food stamps, a food and nutritional program. I think that's what it's called. We got Medicaid. And last but not least, housing. Housing, HUD, acronym, stands for Housing and Urban Development. So that is the program that's responsible for housing people that's in need, or that's on welfare, or that's on Section 8. And overall, Section 8 is for people that have to be dependent on someone in their time of need. That's what Section 8 is for. All right? Now, on the plantation, we can see that the slaves were responsible for tending to the livestock. See, they were not only responsible for picking cotton, they were also responsible for growing food for massa as well as food for themselves on the plantation. There was a difference between the house Negro and the field Negro. So the field Negro would be the one that's responsible for like getting the well water for Massa and his family. Picking watermelons, ripe watermelons, you know what I'm saying, for the slave master's family. Cutting up the pig for the slave master. You know what I'm saying? Cleaning and cutting up the pig for the slave master. How they say it? Quartering it, you know, in sections and stuff like that. However the slave master wanted his meat, right? That's what the field nigger was responsible for. And then the house Negro, right? I'm trying not to use Nigger as much, because YouTube flags me for that. So the house Negro was responsible for actually feeding or cooking for the slave master's family. You got that? Do I need to go any further? Because I think that you all know where I'm going with this. For real. So we got that to the side. You got your EBT card on the plantation. And I already explained to you. Or let me say it like this. You got your food and nutrition program on the plantation. I just explained that to you, right? Let's move on to Medicaid. Woo! Medicaid. Medicaid is used for people that don't have health insurance and can no longer afford health insurance. So the government, and all of these are government programs, of course. The government says, hey, this is what the government's supposed to do. It's supposed to govern over the people. It's supposed to, in other words, take care of the people, right? I think somewhere down the line, y'all, got caught in the politics like Democrat, you know what I'm saying, Republican, red and blue, the left wing and the right wing is still the same damn bird. But that's what the government's supposed to do, take care of the people, right? So when you go to the hospital, right, and you might need to be, seen based on like a pain in your arm, or your leg being broke, or your arm being broke, or you got shot or something like that. And it might not even be that. It may be that you need to refill your prescription, you know what I'm saying, for the drugs that you need to take, pain medicine, that is. You know what I'm saying? Well, Medicaid covers all of that. You got that? Now, on plantation, it bugs me out. You know, the black community, they wow over Erykah Badu, right? Now I'm saying she's a talented artist, but they wow over her, you know, being that she's a doula. And I'm like, oh, MG. Black woman, you forgot. You all used to be doulas. Yeah, on a plantation, you had to not only deliver your own babies in the slave quarters, but you also had to deliver the slave masters' slave masters' wives, the slave masters' children. When it was time for, you know, the baby to come out of the oven. Not only that, Medicaid covers programs such as after-school programs, daycare programs, some other programs that I mean, like I can't even. There's a list, a laundry list of things that Medicaid does, right? Not only did black women had to be a doula, deliver a baby for the slave master, as well as herself and the other slaves, but she had to take care of the children as well. Yes, she took care of the slave master's children. Matter of fact, she breastfed the slave master's children when the slave master's wife, I'm just being real, when her forget it, I'm a nigga anyway, when her titties wasn't working, she watched the child. The slave did watch the slave master's children as well as her own children. And I'll go as far as to say that while she was watching the slave master's children and the other children, right? Boy, y'all ain't gonna like this, but it's the truth. You know, like the new movie Avatar, you know how like the monkey boy was going into the woods and playing with the Navis? It's the same thing. The white kids will go into the slave quarters and they would play with the black children. Oh, yeah, I'm taking it there. I go to the YMCA in South Park. Just about every morning, you'll see black women with white children in Whole Foods, at the YMCA, at the park. So black women have been taking care of your children, been delivering them, been nursing them in the past, and they still are doing it to this day. I do want to talk about one thing before we pass the Medicaid thing. It's along the lines of, health, the health field, right? Do you know that every time you all get a pap smear, yeah, I'm going there. I am. Hold on. Some of you all know where I'm going. And yes, non-blacks, brace for this. Pap smears and all the rest of that stuff, right? You know who is the father of gynecology? It's a gynecologist by the name of Marion Sims. This guy was extra special. You know how he became the father of gynecology? He experimented on black women. they actually thought that black women can endure more pain than a typical woman could. So they tied these black women down, gave them something to bite on, right? So they won't break their teeth, their tongue. Gave them some opium. Marion Sims, whatever the hell his name is, cut black women from the inside while black women are still awake. And we see this type of treatment going on till this day. For the sake of the conversation, I wouldn't say this outside of this video. My baby moms almost died in Atlanta. I got you. I got you, black women. Watch me work. I got you. I don't like dealing with statistics. I don't. But for the sake of this conversation, I'm going to do it. My baby moms almost died in Atlanta. Right? As well as a lot of black women. Y'all know where I'm going. Across America has either almost died or died from a thing called maternal mortality. Black women are dying at an alarming rate during childbirth. Statistics says that there are 69.9 deaths per 100,000 births, right? Black women are 2.6 times the rate of Hispanics and whites. To die from childbirth. My baby moms had a PE, a pulmonary embolism. I know I'm messing up the word, but you know where I'm coming from. PE. Traveled all the way up to one of her main arteries in her leg. And she had a seizure, heart attack, all that stuff, almost died. They had to induce her, they had to put her into an induced coma. She was in ICU for like 3 days, sitting on ice. When I saw her, she was like this. That's where she was at. That was the state that she was in. And I'm happy to say that she made it out alive. But most of you all don't. Aside from maternal mortality, you got damn near 80,000 black women missing. Okay, it's too much. All right, let's put it all together, right? Like I said, I don't like taking notes and, and statistics and all of this, but I had to do it for this video. So we got the food and nutritional program, Medicaid, and HUD, housing. Housing and urban development, right? Down the line. Broke it down to you on how, white, Caucasian people, non-blacks, at the time during slavery, depended on the slave for food and nutrition, Medicaid, as well as housing. Yes, I'm just trying to understand this. Seriously, man. This is not the modernized world back in the days during slavery. So guess what? Black people had to build houses. They had to build things. We were masons. We knew how to put brick and mortar together. Like, stop it. And if we didn't, like I said, I'm going to let y'all have it. You all taught us how to put brick and mortar together. Regardless, we learned and we excelled. So, Juneteenth comes. Galveston, Texas. I'm going somewhere. Watch this. Watch me work. Galveston, Texas, 1865, if I'm not mistaken, was the year, right? That they freed all of the black people from slavery, right? Now, before they freed black people, right? 9 blacks out of all those years that they've been oh man, this story is crazy. It's crazy because of the fact that I can't believe it, but it's the truth. For years, black people have been working for free. Right? While black people have been working for free, there have been industries created. So while black people were working for free, laboring, non-black slave masters were busy at creating, orchestrating the infrastructure of America. So they got a lot out of us before they freed us. One of them being the White House. You want me to go on? You know what I'm saying? This is Black History 101. Like, I could do this with my eyes closed. Straight up. But anyway, and they were able to capitalize off of our free labor, right? So when they freed us, this is crazy. This is how I'm going to show you that non-blacks know that they owe us something. Because when they freed us, they promised us 40 acres and a mule. Why did they promise us that? If they felt as though they didn't owe us anything. Well, you know what they say about slaves. They can make some good tea. Motisa? Oh, I forgot. I can't laugh out loud. You know what I'm saying? Because like during slavery times, black people weren't allowed to laugh out loud. So they had to put their heads in a barrel. And that's where you got, you know, a barrel of laughs. And I'm not making it up. I'm being real. We couldn't even laugh loud. Motisa. I thought it was fit for the occasion. Oh yes, I'm an asshole and I'm sarcastic. You didn't know that? Let's move. So black people had trades that they could use. You know what I'm saying? To wherever they were going. But guess what? One thing that black slave master didn't want black men to read, black women to read, or children to read. So we couldn't write or read. Listen to this crazy shit. It gets crazy. So we taught ourselves how to read. And I know some of you all are going to say, well, no, that's not true. There were white abolitionaries that such and such. Yes, they were. But the majority of the race had to teach themselves. Why do we keep on giving non-blacks all the credit. Let's take it back. They didn't have a choice but to free us because there were so many slave revolts till it was ridiculous during that time. So we were revolting. They had to do it. Anyway. So here we are. We create these communities, right? In which we have housing. You know, we're growing, farming, black farmers. You know, we have black colleges. And I know some of you all are going to say, well, it was Caucasian that was affiliated with that, and they such an w.i.c people. Here we go, once again. Black people can't, I'm going to put it to you like this. Black people can't do shit without non-blacks helping. So, getting back on track. All right, so, Juneteenth, 1865, June 19th, right? Freed the slaves. Slaves had trades, couldn't write or read, right? Read or write. So they went into the wilderness, created communities, right? And in the communities, of course, you know, you have to have a place of worship, you know, church. You have to have a place where you educate the children, you know, in school. You know what I'm saying? And then you had houses and stuff like that. And it was just culture there. And it was at the very first time in America where black people created something. And the thing that they created, they can actually see it grow. And they can take credit for the things that they invented and innovated. Like, to be real with you, at that point in time, black people were highly intelligent. They were actually patenting the things that they created. Copywriting, like legally owning the things that they created, unlike before. So when you would create, let's say I created a car. If I was living on a plantation, that car that I created, it would have been the slave master creation. So this is another jewel. There are creations, things that black people created that are not getting credit. We're not getting credit for till this day. Why? Because at the time that we created, whatever we may have created that we're not getting the credit for, we created it while we were enslaved. And the slave master took the credit for it. Like, I'll give you an example. Like now they're coming up and finally admitting that Jack Daniels got his, whiskey recipe from a black man. You understand? So, all right, so you have these communities that are not only growing, but they are growing exponentially. I forgot how you pronounce it. Exponentially. Anyway, I'm trying to sound all educated and everything. They're growing at a fast rate. Right? Places like Tulsa, Oklahoma, Black Wall Street. You know what I'm saying? In Tulsa, Oklahoma. Black Wall Street in Durham, North Carolina. You know what I'm saying? The Hayti area. You understand? And there were different communities popping up everywhere in the United States. You see? Slave master didn't like that. I'm not going to say all white people didn't like it, but there were certain people that didn't like that. Non-blacks that didn't like that, right? So what did they do? They dropped bombs on Tulsa, Oklahoma, destroying the economy, houses, churches. Yo, Tulsa, Oklahoma had an airport, a public transportation, like a bus. They really had it going on down there. See, there was some Caucasians that didn't want to see that. They didn't want to see that, right? So they tore everything down. Make the long story short, here we are in 2023. After we've gone through Jim Crow, after we've gone through Reaganomics, the list goes on. Civil rights movement, Rodney King, George Floyd, the list goes on. Right? Black people have been stripped of everything, regardless of whether it was an agenda or not. We are a race of people that I'm not going to even say that the culture that we practice is a culture. But for the sake of the conversation, we're practicing a deaf culture. Where our music, our lifestyle, the way we think, what we eat, how we sleep, all of that, our education is at a standstill. We're at a first in a lifetime, at a standstill as a race of people. We're not going up. Matter of fact, some of us are actually turning around and going down, backwards. We're spiraling backwards. And you can hear it in our music. You can see it in the music videos. You know, you look at that chick Sexy Red, Pound Town. Pussy hole pink, booty hole brown, Pound Town. We are back to being dependent on the Caucasian. So, my solution, right? Because y'all seem to think that this is a problem, you know, that black people that's on Section 8, all we do is take, right? A lot of you all don't know the history. You all see a race of broken people, not knowing that it's a history. There's a reason why. And the reason why is because originally we were independent. And the slave master stripped us of our powers. We were a race of independent people that became dependent on the slave master. Right? You all would say, you non-blacks would say, you need to tighten your bootstraps up and get out there and work. You all are nothing but a bunch of lazy ass niggas's, and all you are doing is costing a lot of tax-paying money that can go towards something else. And for that, my response is this. You turned us into an irresponsible race of people. And when we made attempts to become independent, you know, to work on our own outside of you, right? Your white establishments, as an example, like selling woo! Narcotics. Yo, it gets real deep. I hope you all are strapped up. Pause. It gets real deep. They're selling them narcotics. Yeah. Motisa. When we attempted to, you know, sell narcotics, and we set up trap houses in our communities, right? This is a business going on. Supply and demand, the American way. Now, we ain't gonna get deep on how the drugs got into our community. We're not gonna do that. Because guess what? We already know how it got into the community. No lie. A stork dropped it off. You know the one that delivers babies? The stork dropped it off. So that's who brought in the narcotics to the community. Real talk. So when we decided to set up trap houses, use it For all you street dudes, use it. Come on. I hope you, come on, please. I hope you listening to this. I hope you listening. This is dedicated to you all. For real. Real talk. You set up trap houses and you went out there in the street corner and you started pitching your product. You said that product is the best product, right? Out on the market. That guy over there, you know what I'm saying? I'm CVS. Yeah, I'm taking it there. I am. I got the best product on the block. That girl over there, Dwayne Reed, he ain't got nothing on me. That man over there, Rite Aid, he ain't got nothing on me. Real talk. So you go out there and you sell your narcotics and you get arrested, right? CVS is not arrested. Rite Aid is not arrested. Dwayne Reed is not arrested. And I know what you're going to say. Well, the reason why they got arrested is because they're selling illegal drugs and Dwayne Reed is selling legal ones. Well, let me tell you this. There's no difference. Oh, I do know the difference. You see, you got to pass the bar exam and all the rest of that stuff in order to be doctors, lawyers, all of that stuff. You know what I'm saying? In order to be, part of their professions. You know what I'm saying? Real talk. But for the most part, if those guys that's on the street know what they doing, right? They're alchemists. They're shifting molecules. They're cooking. They're literally cooking the crack. And let's compare the two. To straight up, how many overdoses have street pharmacists had in comparison to the regular ones? And let's include malpractices too. But Rite Aid, Dwayne Reed, and CVS didn't go to jail. Matter of fact, it's business as usual. They have drive-thrus. So you could pick up your drugs, and all you gotta do is just drive through. And boom, it's right there. Matter of fact, we in 2023 now. Yes, I'm going there. I am. I thank the ancestors. I thank the sun, S-U-N. I thank Mother Earth. I'm going there. Yes, I am. You can get Uber Eats, Postmates. I know, because when I used to do Postmates, you know what I'm saying? Those gig apps, such as Postmates, Uber Eats, and the likes, I delivered to people. Cigarettes, alcohol, prescription drugs, weights. You can get anything. You can buy just about anything on Uber, sites such as Uber Eats and Postmates. Right? But if you can't make it to the drugstore, they'll bring it to your house. But if you feel like driving to the drugstore and you don't want to go into the drugstore, right? And you don't want to drive through, you can just wait at the curb to get the curbside assistance. That's where we're at right now. They'll hand you your drugs right on the curb, while young black men are in jail for the same things that CVS, Dwayne Reed, and Rite Aid is selling. I'm trying to understand this. You want to go further? Oh, you want to go further? Okay, cool. CBD. These CBD stores that's popping up everywhere? Because all of a sudden, non-blacks decided that THC or marijuana is a cash crop. Now they decide to legalize it in certain states. But before the non-blacks, straight up, discovered that that was a cash crop, we've been selling a cash crop called marijuana. One of them being for medicinal purposes. So we know the reason why we sell the marijuana plant, because the food is our medicine. The herbs are our medicine. And you know who was selling that cash crop first? Well, one of the ones that was selling that cash crop first, way before people in America ever thought about it. He's the father of Rastafarianism. His name is Leonard Howell. And he was able to support, straight up, as well as the other people that lived in that community, called the Pinnacle in Jamaica. They were able to support themselves. They were able to be self-sufficient off of the marijuana plant they were selling. And they were arrested, detained, put in jail. Oh, y'all don't know the story of what the Rastafarians that practiced Rastafarianism had to go through in the 40s on up. They were forcibly cutting the Rastas' locks. But I don't want to go so far with it. So that Leonard Howell is responsible for turning that marijuana plant into a cash crop. One of the ones that's responsible. So while our young black men are sitting in jail, you all are making money off of a crop that's illegal in the black community, but it's totally legal in the white one. And that's just how shit works. It's a shame, but it's the truth. That at the end of the day, you non-blacks will tell black people that y'all ain't working hard enough. That's the reason why y'all are at the bottom of the barrel. That you need, I'm going to say it, this is the second time I'm saying it, that you need to strap up your bootstraps. Y'all too lazy. You need to do something with your life. But that's not what we told you all while you all were living off of us. Now that the tables are reversed, you don't want to take care of us, but let me take it back. Originally, we took care of you all. And when we asked for something back, some type of compensation, you said, hey, good luck, NIGGA, you're on your own, right? After you stripped us of our independence, after you took our culture, our language, our food, our way of life, our lifestyle, you kidnapped us, you stole us from where we were living, our home. And our home wasn't just Africa. Blacks live all over the world. Those same type of black people, you want them now to become independent after you strip them of their independency. And now they have to rely on you. Well, I'm telling you, straight up, I'm an NIGGAER. You created me to be dependent on you. So now that I'm dependent on you, you're going to have to come correct. I don't want reparations. I just want Section 8. That plain and simple. And I know what you're going to say. You're going to say, oh, you just like the rest of the NIGGAs. You always want something for nothing. You're nothing but an Indian giver. Well, let me say this in reply to what you're saying. First and foremost, in order to give something to someone, right? You have to receive it first. Right? We ain't never got nothing. That's the first thing. The second thing is, you want to reword that. I'm not a Indian giver, because the Indians didn't get anything out of the stick that you gave them. The shit end of the stick, that is. You know what I'm saying? I want to say, nah, it's not an Indian giver, a European giver. That's what you really want to say. Because guess what? While we've been on this planet, on this side of the planet, called America, white people are non-blacks during slavery, and up until now, ain't never gave us shit. We had to work for everything we got, right? I don't think that's fair. I think that the same type of treatment that we gave you all during slavery, we took care of you, we were your food and nutritional program, we were your Medicaid, we were your hood, housing, and urban development. The same type of treatment that we gave you all is the same type of treatment that we want. Real talk. So I'm all for Section 8. If you want to say that that's my reparations. But let me tell you, I want to take it a little step further. I want Section 8 to cover everything, all expenses. Because we covered all of your expenses while we were on the plantation. For real. And with this solution, this takes care of affirmative action and all the rest of that stuff. Just put all black people on Section 8. At least until we get it together. That's real talk. And I'm not saying Section 8 like how it is now. I'm talking about like we living in nice communities. We owning our houses, and you all are paying for the mortgages. Whether we want to be in apartments, you're paying for rental spaces. You're paying for the car note. You're paying for the car insurance. You're paying for the health insurance, home insurance. You're paying for it all. Real talk. If we are going to be a race of dependent people, depending on your society that you created, so to speak, right? Then guess what? You're going to take care of us. And it's just that plain and simple. Wu-Tang Clan ain't nothing to fuck with. And neither am I. Motisa.